It may not come to a surprise to you, but Mount Pleasant is one of the most popular places that people want to move around Charleston. So in this video, we're going to talk about everything that you need to know before you make that move. Welcome back, everybody. If you're new here, I am Bill, your favorite YouTubing Charleston realtor, and I make videos just like this for people just like you who are looking to move to the Charleston area. So if you're into that sort of thing, go ahead and click that subscribe button and like this video. Now, if you've been around for a while, you know I don't really hold my microphone like this. This is something new I'm trying, so I want you to let me know down in the comments if it sounds better or if it's distracting, and I won't do it again. So let's get right into this. And the first thing that you need to know when moving to Mount Pleasant is that Mount Pleasant is expensive. So the median price for a single family home in the greater Charleston area is $425,000. And here in Mount Pleasant, it is $999,000. So almost $1 million median price to live in Mount Pleasant. Now, why is that? Well, it's a very desirable area. It has highly rated schools, proximity to downtown, and proximity to 2 of the 3 main beaches in Charleston with Isle of Palms and Sullivan's Island. And sticking with housing, the next thing on our list has to do with the neighborhoods. Now, if you're moving to Mount Pleasant, you need to plan on living within an HOA. I know some people hate them, some people love them, some people have a love-hate relationship with them, but the fact is that about 75% of all homes that sold last year in Mount Pleasant were in a community with an HOA. And number 3 on our list is something that if you've ever looked online, people will tell you is the worst in the world, and that is traffic. You will sit in traffic, especially here in Mount Pleasant. Now, traffic isn't as bad as everyone's going to tell you it is, but when you have the main road of Highway 17 running straight through and everyone commuting into downtown, you're going to sit in traffic during rush hour. And then when you add in the summers, those 2 beaches do bring a lot of tourists in the summer. So you're going to have an influx of traffic going through Mount Pleasant during those summer months. Now, our 4th thing on the list, we're going to talk about everyone's favorite thing, and that is taxes. This is going to be split into 2 things real quick. We're going to talk about sales tax and property tax. Now, on the sales tax, here in Charleston County, it is a 9% sales tax, but you're also going to pay a 2% hospitality tax on everything else. If you go out to eat, be prepared to see that 11% tax on your bill at the end of the night. Now, also with property taxes in South Carolina are extremely low for a primary residence. Now, the effective tax rate is roughly around 0.5% of the tax appraisal value of your home. And these tax appraisal values get kind of weird. I did another video. I'll link it up on one of these corners here for you if you really want to go watch that. But also know that if you're buying a second home or an investment property, then your taxes are going to triple. And we also have something, the biggest question that I get asked, no matter where someone is moving, is about flooding. Now, something you need to know about Mount Pleasant is everywhere in Mount Pleasant is in a flood zone. Now, a majority of it is going to be in one of 2 zones, and that is Zone X or Zone AE. Now, Zone X is going to be more so like down the spine of Mount Pleasant around Highway 17. This is the lowest risk that you can be in a flood zone, and typically you are not required to have flood insurance. Now, once you get further away from 17 towards the rivers and towards the ocean, you're going to get into AE, which is a higher risk, but it is a lowest risk that will require flood insurance with your mortgage company. So if you're trying to look for a place without flood zones, that's not going to happen in Mount Pleasant or anywhere in Charleston for that matter. So if you don't want to pay flood insurance, just look for Zone X. Now, if you're looking for the small town feel, then Mount Pleasant definitely is not for you. Actually, back in 2019, Mount Pleasant was the fastest growing small town and 2nd fastest growing city in the entire United States. Now, they have slowed that down forcibly, because in 2019, they put a cap on new home permits. So the growth has slowed down, but it is still growing fairly quickly. Now, that cap actually ends this year in 2024, and the cap is 600 new home permits per year, but they are looking to extend that another 5 years into 2029. So this is going to have kind of a ripple effect, because The way you grow is you have to build homes to bring people in, but if there aren't enough homes, that's just going to boost these home values even higher, and that median price is going to be into the millions before we know it. And lastly, you need to make a decision when you move here. And I mentioned that there's 2 beaches. Well, you need to pick your favorite beach, because people who live in Mount Pleasant have a favorite beach and they stick to that beach no matter what. Okay, maybe that's a little bit dramatic, but there are 2 beaches. You have Isle of Palms and you have Sullivan's Island. They're vastly different from each other. So when you get here, it might depend on where in Mount Pleasant you live or just the atmosphere of the beach. You're gonna pick your favorite beach. That's where you're gonna go. That's where you're gonna take your friends. So let me know down in the comments, what did I miss? What else do people need to know before moving here to Mount Pleasant? And if you want to learn more about living in Mount Pleasant, check out these 2 videos I've got right here, and I will see you on the next one. And again, let me know how this mic worked out. It's really awkward holding it. Have a good one.